Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV was Swoby.
About 60 constitutional and human rights lawyers, Monday, stormed the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory to commence committal proceedings against the Director General of the State Security Service, Mr. Yusuf Magazine Binchi, for which they described as violation of multiple judgments and orders of court directing the release of former Central Bank Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, from custody of the agency. The consortium of lawyers led by Mr. Maxwell Okpara and Barrister Ahmed Tijani prayed the court to commit DSS DG to prison until he purged himself of the contempt. In their motion filed before the court for the issuing of Form 48 and Form 49, which are the form to commence proceedings to commit a contempt not to prison, the lawyers said by the judgment and orders of Justice M.A. Hassan, Justice Amza Muzu, and Justice Bello Kawu, the DGDSS ought to have released Mr. Godwin Emefiele from detention. In the affidavit in support of the application, the consortium disposed to the fact Honorable Justice M.A. Hassan restrained the respondents in that suit, particularly the State Security Service, from arresting, detaining, or interrogating Mr. Emefiele for offenses connected to terrorism financing, money laundering, round-tripping, financial crimes of national security dimensions, etc. It is their disposition that despite the clear and positive orders of Justice Hassan, the State Security Service still went ahead to arrest and detain Mr. Emefiele and has so detained him for well over a month while shopping for evidence which does not exist. While addressing newsmen after filing their processes at the registry of the courts, Mr. Maxwell Okpara said the group will pursue the matter to its logical conclusion and ensure that Mr. Binchi is sent to prison so as to serve as deterrent to other heads of security agencies and top government officials that contempt of court and gross abuse of their offices for personal vendetta will no longer be tolerated. Mr. Okpara also called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately relieve Mr. Yusuf Binchi of his appointment as DG SSS for having obviously misled the president that Mr. Emefiele had committed heinous crimes against the state, only for him to now file a charge of possession of a validity registered pump action ruffle against Mr. Emefiele.
The director of the SSS, we want to say enough is enough. We have come to file from 48 against him. We have commenced contempt proceedings against him for deceiving, disobeying court orders. Nigeria is not a banana republic. We have had several directors of the SSS. He is not the first one, and this is not going to be the last one. So we have filed it, and we are asking that now that it's obvious that he has a personal issue to settle with Emefiele, he should go and sort it out. He should not use Nigeria. He should not use any sign, any purported offense of terrorism to sort whatever problem he had with Emefiele. Just like as I said, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu was one of those that fought for this democracy through NADECO. Now that he's the president, we want to call upon him as a matter of urgency. He should sack the director, DSSS, for embarrassing the entire world, for embarrassing Nigeria.
We joined forces together with the world to call on the president to make sure that the DSF director is removed as soon as possible. In fact, tomorrow is too late. It is very, very important. That is the point that we are laboring to make. We are not here to represent Emefiele. We are not here to represent any particular person. It's not only him. Emefiele is not the only person suffering passing through this agony. Every Nigerian is a victim of this circumstance. And what makes it worrisome is the fact that a ridiculous charge is being preferred against the person of Emefiele. A ridiculous. This is not what Nigerians were expecting.
The essence of filing the contempt proceedings is, as Nigerians, every Nigerian do have the right to enforce the judgment of courts. So, as Nigerians, and not only as Nigerians, but as lawyers, we are complaining against disobedience of an order of court by someone who is even saddled with the responsibility to ensure that the order of court is obeyed. And as well known, in fact, as my left friend said, I have a matter, a client of mine, this court released a client of mine on bail unconditionally. But that client of mine has been in DSS detention for more than 1 year. We are saying enough is enough.
He said, and I quote, "Is it not clear enough to Nigerians that the SSS is persecuting Mr. Emefiele if, after holding him for 5 weeks, they can only file a ridiculous charge of possessing a validity registered pump action gun?" Mr. Opara asked. He continued, "If possessing a validity registered pump action gun is a crime worthy of being held in perpetuity, what has the SSS done to the person threatening Nigerians for a particular section of the country with an assault rifle? This clearly shows the driver of Mr. Emefiele is more for political reasons than for any other." He concluded by questioning that, assuming there was no valid court order, since the DSS had been unable to find any evidence against Mr. Emefiele, he was entitled to his release, and how much more now that 3 different courts have ordered his release. The SSS is still holding him in unlawful detention and violating all his rights. Hence, the reason why the consortium will ensure Mr. Yusuf Magaji Binchi ends up being committed to prison. Amaka Anyaun, reporting from Facetv Africa.
Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, subscribe.
Face TV was Swoby.